Oh, got it. Good morning, everybody. There are 25 of us on this morning. There are 12, 13 of us that want to show our face. 10 minutes ago, I didn't want to show my face. I looked like hell. I've been up since it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I finally got to sleep. Just took a shower about 15 minutes ago. So this is the best face I can put forward this morning. I apologize, guys. I know it was a crazy night. But good morning to all of you. I am on the East Coast right now. I'm in Virginia. I was supposed to hop in a car at 3:30 a.m. with my 7-year-old and drive to Charlotte from here, which is 181 miles away. And my heart just couldn't take it. Like literally, Colette, last night I was like, I don't know if my heart can take any more emotion and excitement and burning the midnight oil. 20, 30 years ago, I could do it. I can't do it. So canceled my flight and I'll be leaving tomorrow at a decent hour. So me and Anzio are going to go to Charlotte and just have some fun. But anyway, good morning to all of you who aren't putting your face on the screen. We still love you. We just can't see you. So it's hard to really fall in love with you when we can't look in your eyes. So if you want to turn your cameras on, we'd love to see you. And we had Karen joining the call. Amanda Finch, I've been wanting to meet the Finches, Colette. I saw one post that had like 50 Finches join the team. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to change our name from Z Team to Finch Team. It was amazing to see the whole Finch family join. What a great family to have when all of them want to be a part of a business like this. Like I wish and pray that my actual blood wanted to be a part of my businesses all these years. And I think to myself, my family has all seen me go from broke and struggling to multi-million-dollar earner. Wouldn't you think that everyone in the world would be beating my door down that knows me to join my next business opportunity? Like, I don't get it. But obviously I don't have that same kind of love that the Finches have. So Amanda, if you want to unmute, I've been wanting to meet you for a while. Say hello to us if you don't mind.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Hi.
I know. Hi. And her hair is amazing. Look at
Hi.
that. Yeah.
We're doing fundraising today, so we're out pounding the pavement for little kids. So.
That doesn't surprise me. Awesome, Amanda. Well, enjoy that time during the holidays doing fundraising. That's great. What are you raising funds for?
We have a local toddler with cancer.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. That breaks my heart.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough, but we have a great community. As you've seen, it exploded with Transact Card.
Unbelievable.
A lot of giving people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been good, though.
This is the program for givers, so it's no shock that it attracted you and your family. How cool is that? That's awesome. Well, nice to meet you.
You as well. Thank you for all these trainings. Our batteries need recharged, and you are so good at that, and we appreciate you very much.
Oh, I appreciate that, Amanda. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh, guys,
she's coming in through Steve.
I don't know why you did it.
Oh, I knew right when Steve popped his camera on that he wanted to say something. I was giving him a chance to jump in there. What's up, Steve? Take it away.
I'm at work, so I have to bounce in and out.
Okay.
Yeah, the Finches also. Paxton was there with us, Zap, in Vegas, and she has a son, Trey, who's 17. Amanda, you still on there?
She's there yet?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, you could speak on Trey just a minute, as well as Pax. They're both young, hungry, and Trey is as sharp. Zap, he's sharper than you should see this kid. He gets it. He's 17. I think, is he 18 yet, Amanda? In January?
He will be 18 December 30th. So
he's working the business at a 17-year-old, Zap.
What I would have given to have had the paradigm and the ability to even take something like this seriously at 18 years old. That's incredible.
No, he's all guns a-blazing too, which is crazy at that age. We have a couple of young kids like that in this team, so it's awesome.
That's refreshing.
Yep, we just had another 16, almost 17-year-old join his team through his mom. They are working together. We have quite a few young fellows. Another 19-year-old is going to sign today with their team. So we have a group of hot and heavies, but we are making them do it themselves. They're learning the hard way. They're doing all the things wrong. They're spilling their guts and keeping people captive for 20, 30 minutes and then having to dial down the energy. So they're learning the hard way, but we're making them do it, and they're loving it. They're learning fast.
You know, the only way to learn is by making the mistakes. You know,
Right.
Here's a great power quote for all of you to teach to teach. You ready? I heard one of my mentors, I can't remember which one, say this. He said years ago, he said, I only wish I would have made all the mistakes I made in life, but sooner. I only wish I would have made all the mistakes I made in my life, but sooner. And when you really think about that quote, it's such a powerful thing to say. It's like, you know, we want to, can you get that phone, baby? We want to protect our children, right? I mean, I got a 7-year-old behind me. I watch him like a hawk. He freaks me out every single day. I probably won't live very long because of the stress that I experienced through just worrying about him, you know? And then when I raise my voice at him, he thinks that I'm yelling at him, and I got to pull him aside as a good dad. And I say, buddy, when daddy's voice goes up, it's not because I'm mad at you or I'm angry at you. It's because I care about you. It means that I'm worried and concerned about you. You know, the kids kind of bark back, and they bark back at you. I go, don't do that. I go, because daddy's not mad at you. Daddy just doesn't want you to break your leg, break your neck, break your arm, break whatever it is you're about to break. So, you know, making mistakes is what it's all about. So tell your kids, Amanda, and all those young kids that come in, I'd love to do a teaching with them specifically. Because I've been able to help some young people do well in this industry, and it's about getting them to look at themselves no longer as 17 or 18-year-olds and getting them to turn 25 as quickly as possible up here.
Right.
And
right.
learning how,
You know, I have a funny story for you. Trey's actually in Saturday school today. He got four tardies in a row, and in our school district, if you have that many tardies in the morning, because he's working Transact card the minute he wakes up, then you get Saturday school. But I asked him, like, dude, you graduate in 3 days. He has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and he decided to graduate early, took on a college class the beginning of December, finished the entire semester of it last week so he could graduate early. Well, he got Saturday school on purpose so that he could go talk to the teachers about Transact card for the whole 3 hours.
Oh my God, I love this kid. Oh my God, Steve,
Yeah.
I love this kid.
So, yeah, he's
Yeah.
on fire. And they would, my kids would all love to meet you and train with you and have a session. That would be phenomenal.
Let's do it. Kids are my real passion. I spend a lot of time with adults, but I love kids. I love teaching kids. It's like, it's what I want to be doing. If money wasn't an object, no offense to all of you, I'd be working with all of your kids and your grandkids. I'm just telling you now, that's where my heart really is, as I got this little guy over my shoulder. So Amanda, please connect me and Colette and Steve to the Young Guns group that we have. And let's just do a little private, let's do a private training with them if they're okay with it.
Perfect. Yep. They will be excited.
Awesome. Let's do it. Awesome. Well, guys, let me share something a little personal with you. It's always a story, right? Everything's a story in this business. Yesterday, a lot of you were just getting to know each other, but a lot of you don't know one thing about me, and it's actually a common bond between me and my partner, Colette. We love sports. We love sports. We are sports people. We are especially football people. Colette loves her Washington Cougars. She loves anything about the Northwest when it comes to football. Her and her husband are all about it. They're all for it. Matter of fact, I know they're rooting for the Washington Huskies to win the national title this year. No, we're not, because that's the rival team, and that would be a little difficult for her. But deep down inside, Colette's true to her school, which is still the state of Washington. So, Colette, we're going to have to talk about this because we haven't yet. But just the common bond between me and Colette, and I think one of the reasons why we work so well together, and we never talked about this before, is because we are very passionate about teams winning. You know, Colette and I are not about the 10th place ribbon trophy just for participation. We didn't grow up raising our kids that, oh, it's okay, you played good, you had a good game, doesn't matter that you lost by 72. No, we're the type of parents, we're the type of family that, yes, we do want participation from our family members, but we want our kids to be raised winners. Colette, am I speaking on behalf of both of us without your permission or no? Oh, where'd she get on mute there?
Yes, for the most part, but I have come a little bit of ways, you know that. So competition is huge, but I've got to have some boundaries on it. So
100%. I get it. But that's where I come into the picture, because I have zero boundaries. So now we work well together. But anyway, sports has been my life. I grew up playing, in my opinion, the greatest sport in the world, which is the game of football. I'm not going to go too far into this story, but I do want to make a point. These past 4 days since Wednesday, I flew to Virginia. My college head coach, his name was Jerry Boyce. He was a father to me, just so you all know. I didn't have a father past the age of 13, without getting into my personal story. My dad left the home at the age of 13. And at a time when a young man really needs a father figure, a father, right? I didn't have a dad. So, and I think that affected me for a lot of my life. As a matter of fact, that's why you always hear me brag about my mentors, right? I brag about my mentor, Richard, who some of you met last week. Richard Call, my mentor who taught me everything he knew. My mentor, Mark Rosales. I'm always about mentors and teachers. And for a lot of young men and young women, your teachers and your coaches as you're growing up, you're going to spend more time with than your own parents. And for me, I spent more time with my coaches than I did my own father. And I really realized I haven't seen Coach Boyce in a long, long time. I went back to one game about a decade ago, but I've been following his son and my other coach, his son's football career at a school called Cortland State. And last night they just won the national championship of the Division III conference. The Division III is 243 schools across the country. It's the largest division in collegiate sports, and they're number one. And I manifested it, Colette. You know me well. I started writing and blogging about this for those of you who follow me on my Facebook page. I'm so proud of Ryan and Zach, and I do these long articles, and I've got a passion for writing. I wish I was a writer in college and high school, then I probably would have passed English class, but I never wrote when you had to write in order to get a grade. But as I got older, I just enjoy writing. You guys probably realize that I write a lot for the Z Team as well. That's kind of one of my roles here, is to just kind of teach as best I can. But I flew down here to Virginia with my son. I didn't want it. Anzio wants me to show you the football. We got all the signatures from all the players that made the difference last night. If you watched it on ESPN last night, it was a glorious game. And just had an amazing experience. And I thought of all of you, believe it or not, throughout the whole night, because listen, I don't play for the Cortland Red Dragons. As a matter of fact, I played for their rival 30 years ago, the Buffalo State Bengals, back in New York State in Division III. I hated Cortland, but I love them now because my coaches, who I love, have kids who just did something unbelievable last night. And I'm thinking about the Z Team and thinking about what we have, because you guys are the team. You guys are the team in my life. I don't play football anymore. I can hardly play catch with my kid without hurting something. But when I got into this kind of business, I fell in love with the fact that I could take all those great things about sports and bring them into this community. Like, we're a team. That's why I spend time. Grab that for us, babe. Tell them we're going to sign them up for Transact Card later. But we have a team here. We have a family. Just pick it up, sweetheart, please, because I don't want it to keep ringing. Just pick it up. Answer the phone. Sorry, guys. Okay. So we have the Z Team here. And I'm thinking about the championship that we get to win. And I just want to ask a question for the 29 of you watching right now and for the 12 to 15 of us on the screen. How many of you want to be a part of a championship team? By show of hands. Like, how many of you still have something left in the tank where you want to participate at a high level and be an all-star on the team? Good. So I want to speak into that a little bit. Last night, and here's the analogy. I use the analogy of Zach Boyce to Colette Daniels right now. Zach Boyce was the quarterback of this winning team last night. He was unstoppable. Every time he got the ball, he drove down the field and scored every single time against the best team in the country for the past 4 years. This team, Colette, last night that you watched on ESPN, did not lose a game in 29 games. For the past 2 years, they haven't lost to anybody. Nobody. The head coach has never lost a college football game until last night. And it was the one leader of this team who, every time he had the ball in his hands, he just took it down the field and scored. And I was in the stands because, and Esther knows this because we talk a lot. Colette knows this. We talk a lot. I knew that this team last year, when they lost in the playoffs, I said they're going to come back next year. They're going to win the national title. And you all don't know how bold of a statement that is in this kind of a world, because it's not an even playing field in Division III sports. And this team, against all odds, just crushed it last night. They won 38-37. It was unbelievable. It was an experience me and my son will never forget. So I want to talk about leading, and I want to talk about loving. Leading and loving. You can tell when you watch this kid play, just like you can tell when you watch Colette lead, that he's leading from the heart. You can see heart-centered leadership. It's obvious. It's easy to see from a mile away. You can see when a leader is leading with their heart, and that's what this kid does, and that's what Colette does. And you know, we talk about this a lot. Colette, I was sitting with my coach. I don't know if you watched all my videos yesterday. There's quite a few, but I sat with him yesterday, and he shared one of the quotes live on Facebook, and I interrupted him because it was one that I taught you, and I taught Esther, and I taught the whole team, and I think I taught everyone here. He said, Michael, you know what? I've always said this. And right when he did it, Colette, I felt like I was sitting with Richard Call. He goes, it's amazing what a team can accomplish. And I finished his sentence. I go, when nobody cares who gets the credit. He goes, yes. I go, Coach, I've been quoting you now for 30 years. I've been quoting you in business communities. I mentioned all of you. I said in a network I'm building with a group of amazing people. But it's amazing what a team can accomplish when nobody cares who gets the credit. He followed that up with saying this. He said, Michael, you know why football is the greatest team sport? He goes, because I can't win without you and you can't win without me. And it's the same thing that I mentioned about a week or two ago about, you know, I give Colette a lot of the praise and the applause for doing what she's done, because it takes an amazing human to do what she's done for the past 6 months, tirelessly, every day, all day. It is a grind, just so you know, to do what a leader has to do. You know, you watched Zach last night, who had 472 yards of offense. He threw for over 300 yards. He ran for over 100 yards. He threw 5 touchdown passes. And we keep mentioning Zach. But guess what? Without Ryan and without the rest of the team, Zach is nothing. Without Colette, without the other rest of the team, Colette is nothing. So the thing is, the question I have for you guys, and I think this is a serious question, is are you, and when I say you, I mean you, the person listening right now, are you ready to put it all on your shoulders? Are you ready to put the business on your shoulders as if there was nobody else here? I'd like you to think about that for a second. If Transact Card came to you and you didn't have a Z team, and you didn't have an amazing corporate team like the Transact Card team, that where they put together all those Zooms and those opportunity meetings and trainings, if you had none of that, how many of you would create it all for yourself? That's what I want to know. How many of you would create the system yourself? You know what I see a lot, Colette, in this industry? I see a lot of people saying, well, I don't have an upline. I don't have a leader. I don't have a team. Nobody's here to support me. You know what I say to that? Write this in your notes. What an opportunity for you. What an opportunity for you to be that person for others who need it. You know the really sad thing about network marketing? And it's not sad for the Z team, because here's the problem. Here's the good news and the bad news. The good news is you've got a world-class team of leaders on this screen and all around you, company-wide, team-wise, to support you. If you want to make it, you don't have to look far to plug into anything. Trust me. You know what the bad news is? You've got a world-class team around you, world-class leaders, and you've got everything you need in front of you, and you get to plug into it for nothing. Every single program I've ever been a part of in my life until today, I had to do everything. Colette knows this. She saw this when we first met. Esther, when I met Esther, way before I met Colette. Mark Langley, way before Colette. Every single thing I've ever done in this business, and I'm proud of this fact, I orchestrated, manifested, intention, 100% intention, and created what would soon be the success. And I put it all on my shoulders to be the leader that said, okay, guys, when there was just 2 or 3 of us, we're going to meet once a week for a meeting, an opportunity meeting. Plug everyone in. Let's invite people all week long. Let's do one-on-ones, coffee shop meetings, home, whatever. And let's bring them all together like a team, like a huddle, like in football, right? And then I said, and every week we're going to teach how we just did what we just did. How does that sound? Does it sound good to everybody? You know what's funny? I wish I had a camera. Why do we do this with a camera? Was that years ago when you had to do this? I wish I had a camera, and I wish I could roll back 21 years for all of you to see the young version of me with this big afro. Like big afro, like,
oh, I'll get something to show them. I'll get something to show them.
Oh, I'm sure you could find it in 2 minutes on Google if you wanted to. But I had this big afro. I was 28 years old, 31 years old. I can't remember how old I was. And listen, I want to let you guys know, I'm telling you my story because it's the only story I know how to tell. I lived it, so I get to share it with you. I don't share this to brag or boast or anything. It's not who I am. I'm extremely Grateful, and I'm extremely humble and I don't give any of the credit to myself. I give it all to my higher power. If it's okay to mention God on this screen right now, I'm just happy God kept me alive a year ago. I'm happy God gave me the energy and the passion and the skills and the gifts and the ability to speak to people. I realize it's not something that was given for nothing. I realize that we're responsible to do what we need to do with our gifts while we have them. And one day we'll answer to somebody about those gifts that we had and whether or not we used them. So I'm extremely grateful. But the young version of me, I just said, okay, let's get some people together. It was really simple. Let's find a place to meet. We found a place to meet once a week. I challenge you to do that locally with your team. I challenge you, and I challenge myself to do that locally with my team in Albuquerque. I have to get a business started for two reasons. Number one, I don't want to miss out on the fun. And number two, when you lead by example. You don't lead by words. People don't care what you say. They care what you do. Write that in your notes. Nobody cares what you say. They care what you do. People don't do what you say, they do what you do, which is even more important. You want a team to grow, and if you want people on your team to recruit, but guess what you need to do? Recruit. Of course, you need to recruit to find your front line of people. If you want your people to do a home meeting, you know what you got to do? You got to launch a Facebook Live from your living room one night when you invite 2 or 3 people over, and you sit in front of the camera and you just talk about Transact Card as best as you can. And you bring Colette up on a Zoom and make sure people see that on a Zoom, because people need to see what you're doing to build the business. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to do what you do. It's monkey see, monkey do, right? But leadership is all about doing it first, and then having everyone around you see what you're doing, and through osmosis, follow what you're doing. That's what I've seen. I think it's that simple in this business. I think it's that simple in this business. I think building a network is doing what you'd want your team to do so that they watch you and duplicate what you do. And they will do exactly what you do. Colette, I've been a part of teams before where it was so stagnant and it wasn't growing. And you just look at the leader and you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, well, wait a second, Michael, am I recruiting anybody? Well, then why do you think your team's not recruiting anybody? Am I making 5 phone calls a day? Am I inviting people? Am I prospecting people? Am I talking to people? I have a disease, actually, not heart disease, although I have heart disease, but I have another disease. And you know what my disease is? I wish I could give you all this disease. How many of you would like to get this disease? I have a disease that every single person I meet, I feel like they're a friend and I got to talk to them. I've always had this problem. I love the nodding of the heads I see in Yenny and Suzanne Kitchens, because, you know, I know when I can connect with people just by the look in their eyes, I've always been good at reading people's body language. And I just looked down right when I said that, and I saw Colette, Suzanne, and Yenny, all 3 of their heads nodding up and down. They heard my words and they instantly said in their mind, yep, I got that same disease. That's me. I love people. I love meeting new people. I love talking to people. You know how you can never lose in this business? If you just love people. That's why I asked you all to buy the book, The Greatest Secret in the World by Og Mandino, when I shared that with you guys a couple weeks ago. The scroll mark 2 is all about love. There it is, Colette. Yeah. That's it. Guys, that's one of my greatest secrets in the world right there. Seriously, if someone asked me to get on stage, Michael, you got 10 minutes and share one of your secrets, I would tell everyone in the room that book changed my life. Now, I say that about a lot of books, just so you know. Think and Grow Rich changed my life. How to Win Friends and Influence People changed my life. Your First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell, mentored by my mentor, changed my life. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership changed my life. These books changed my Outliers, changed my life. The Tipping Point by Malcolm Gladwell changed my life. The Power of Full Engagement changed my life. Guys, as I'm saying this to you, I am just a product of what I've read. Every word that comes shooting out of my mouth are not my original words. It's so funny to have that Zoom last week with Mr. Burnett, and he's given all the credit to Mr. Rohn. And guess what? Mr. Rohn gives all the credit to Mr. Schoaf. And Mr. Schoaf gives all the credit to his mentor, who I don't know who he is, because he's probably 180 years old by now, and he's buried 100 years ago. But we all become a product of what we read. We all become a product of what we let into our ears, what we let through our eyes, what we let into our mind, our heart, and our soul. We become what we consume. What we consume is what we think about, and what we think about literally pours out of us. It's as simple as that. How many of you have people in your life that are negative? Have you ever looked at them and go, oh my God, what are they listening to? I got this guy I work with at work. I won't mention his name in case he ever joins our team and I try to mentor him to be a better person. But I got a guy I work with that lives right on the other cubicle to me. This guy's the most negative person, Colette, I've ever met in my life. Like, he's always grumbling. Have you ever met someone who grumbles? Like, I didn't really know what grumbling was until I met this guy. He's a grumbler. He's like, that's all I hear is, customer doesn't buy a car. We have stupid customer. And I just want to shake him and go, dude, did you ever think maybe it's you that's the reason why you're not selling cars and not your customer? Like, you're a grumbler. You sell 5 cars a month. I sell 30. Ask me how many times you ever heard me on the other side of the wall go like a dog, like a barking dog. I don't understand people like that. But you know what? I don't have to understand people like that. I just choose to disassociate with those people. And how many of you are really critical about yourself? And when you find yourself getting in a bad mood, you almost say to yourself, "Ooh, I don't like that. That was kind of." See, we've all been there before. We're not all exempt from having bad days, bad moments, bad moods. But the truth of the matter is, now that I'm older and wiser and hopefully still going to live another 20, 30 years, now that I'm at that phase in my life, it's very easy for me to look at myself and go, you know what, jackass, don't do that again. And I do call myself jackass from time to time. I know probably shouldn't do that, but this is my conversation with myself when I'm just not being a good person. Here's a power quote for you. I hope I remember this one for you guys right now. I got to remember this right now because I just learned it last night, and I always teach what I learn right away, right, Colette? Coach Boyd said to me last night, he said, oh God, I'll watch my videos back. It's such a good one. I got to give it to you. Oh, I lost it. I will get it for you and I will post it later. It's a beautiful power quote. God, what a terrible thing that was to leave you guys as a cliffhanger and not give you the power quote. But Colette, it's so good. And when I get it to you, you'll be like, ooh, it's so good. It was in one of my 20 videos from yesterday. So anyways, do you want to put it all on your shoulders and lead? Because that's what it's going to take for you. This isn't about anybody else but you right now. So as I'm talking directly to you. Colette's doing a beautiful job of leading this team. You got a system in place that is unbelievable. I mean, really, I wish everyone on the team would plug into this Zoom on Saturdays and plug in on Wednesdays. I was on a flight Wednesday, or I wouldn't have missed that Zoom. I wish everyone would just take these 2 meetings every single week seriously. Do you realize the gold that you'll have in your possession if everyone just plugs into what we teach here? And I'm honored to be the teacher and the mentor here. This is all I've ever wanted to be in this profession. But I got to roll up my sleeves too with all of you. And I acknowledge the fact that I got to lead with you. Because if we want to go from 1,000 to 10,000, someone's got to step up on the team. If everyone steps up on the team, look out. We're going to have so much fun. And I think, Colette, we are 3 feet from gold right now. I think, and listen, I could feel it, and I mean this wholeheartedly and sincerely with all of you. I can feel this thing about to explode. I don't know everything that's going on with the company. I don't know everything. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not plugged into every Zoom. I talk to Colette, I talk to Esther, I talk to Suzanne, I talk to certain people on the team. And as we talk throughout the week, I say, hey, what's going on? Give me the update. Just give me the quick stuff. I don't need to know everything. But I can feel like we're 3 feet away from this thing exploding. And when it actually explodes, I hope that you want to be there with an army of your own when it takes off. Because here's one thing I'm going to share with all of you, and I can't promise this to any of you, but I've experienced this in my career once. Sometimes in life, you only get one chance to do something great, just so you guys know. If you're lucky, count your lucky stars. If you had more than one opportunity to be a part of something unbelievable in your life, then seize that moment. But one time in my life, I created a company that went into a momentum. And there was nothing like it. There was no feeling like it in the world when all of a sudden you're walking down the street and someone sees you. Oh my God, I know you. You were on that Zoom. I was at your meeting last week. And it exploded. And thousands of people were excited about the opportunity. This Transact card, even though it's got a base of what, 30,000, 40,000 DBOs, whatever the numbers are right now, they're astronomical. It hasn't exploded yet. When it explodes, everyone you know is going to be coming to you to tell you about that little green card. Everyone's going to come to you. And I hope you prepare yourself for that moment when they come to you. Part of you says, oh, I've known about it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm a vice president. I'm doing really well with it. And then you're going to have to live with the fact that you didn't bring it to them, but you can't get everyone like we talked about before. You're not going to get everyone. It's going to be the day that comes, Tommy Hickman, there's going to be a day that comes when people come to you and you're like, I just couldn't possibly talk to everyone I knew. Well, I'd like to get you to change that right now and make that list as serious as you can and get to everyone you know. Write this in your notes. This is a stage where you have to say less to more people. Less to more people. You're in a stage where you got to get in front of more people, which means you can't have marathon conversations with everyone. I was just telling Colette the other day, her and I are going to do a relaunch of the business that I'm building with my partner, but it's me going out there saying, Colette, I'm going to go recruit a bunch of new people for us to build this team to the moon. I think that day's coming up on the 20th, Colette. Did we say the 20th? I can't remember the day. So I have to say less to more people, which is great. You know why? Because the less you say, the better. Write that in your notes. The less you say, the better. Keeping someone curious is the secret to this business. You want another secret? There it is. Keep them curious. I am involved with something unbelievable. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm having a Zoom on the 20th, and I'd really like you to be there. Do you know my background? This is what I would say. Do you know my background? Do you know what I've done in my lifetime in home-based business, network marketing? Do you know everything I've ever done? Everything I've done, I give it my all. Whether it goes to the moon or not, and it usually does, but I give it my all. I'm building something new, and I'd like for you to take a good look. Well, what is it, Michael? I don't have time to tell you about it. That's why I'm inviting you to be there on the 20th. That's going to be my invite until me and Colette relaunch our business. All of you guys will get an invitation when we put that in the books. And I'm going to have to perform because I'm putting it out there to all of you that I'm doing this. So I'm going to look really stupid if I have nobody on the screen, won't I? That's another secret. Put it out there. Don't just put it out there for you. Put it out there for the world to see. This is what I'm doing. This is when I'm doing it. And I'd like you to be a part of it. And I'd like you to be there. You want instant accountability with everyone who knows you? Tell them what you're about to do. That's why I always say to people, I'm taking this thing to the moon. It would be a shame if you didn't get involved with it. And then they go, what is it? If you want to hear about it, I'm going to have the Zoom. I'd love you to take a look. Zip your lip. Get them leaving the conversation saying, what the heck is he up to? I think I really need to know what he's doing. And guess what? Not everyone's going to show up. So what? The ones who will are the ones who are supposed to. The ones who won't are the ones who will regret it one day, provided that this becomes the business we all think everyone's going to be eventually bringing this to us anyway. And you know what I love about planting the first seed with people? I love saying this. Hey, Colette, whether this is right for you or not, today, tomorrow, in the future, that's not up to me. And it's not important to me. I love you. I care about you, but I don't care what you do. I've got something so big to share with you. Now, I want you guys to stop for a second and take notice to one thing, and I'll end with this today. How many are listening very intently to the words that are coming out of my mouth right now? Raise your hand. And do you know one of the things my first mentor, who Colette is good friends with now, said to me years ago? He said, Michael, he goes, and this was feedback I got so I can learn, right? He goes, you are ignorance on fire. And I thought when someone called you ignorant, that was a really rude thing to say. And I said to Mark, I don't know if that was a nice thing to say. He goes, Michael, he goes, do me a favor. You're going to one day learn this business. He goes, don't ever change who you are today. He goes, stay green. Stay excited. Just be you. He goes, you don't even know what you're talking about. And you're doing better than guys that have been in this industry for 20, 30, 40 years. Once again, I said, Mark, I don't know what I'm talking about is a nice thing to say to me. He said, you don't get it, Michael. He said, people will travel for miles to watch something burn up. This is the greatest teaching I can give you guys of what I learned in my time. People will travel for miles. You hear the way I talk. I annoy myself, just so you all know. Like, I got to live with this guy. My son has to live with a dad who's loud, from New York, Italian, excited, enthusiastic. Sometimes my loudness comes across as brash or rude or inconsiderate. This is who I am. I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning like this. But what I learned from my mentor is like, Michael, your enthusiasm and your excitement. I've had people say to me my whole life, Mike, I'd buy anything from you. And I always ask myself, why would people buy anything from me? And I learned it was because of my music. It was because of my music. And I love music, by the way. But my music is more important than my words. So the last thing I want to teach this morning is one of my favorite power quotes. It's not about the words. It's all about the music. People get into this business and they watch Colette on a Zoom, or they watch Alan on a Zoom, or they watch Peter on a Zoom, and they watch these guys, Aaron on a Zoom, not Alan. They watch these guys on these Zooms. And man, if you watch Aaron Whittier's presentation, I bragged about Colette enough tonight. Her presentation's phenomenal. But I watch Aaron Whittier's presentation and I step back and go, damn, that guy he's on his music. You know what's beautiful about Aaron? He's a musician. He's a singer. It's what he's been doing his whole life. When he speaks, it's like he's singing a song. I watched his presentation that Colette sent me a couple weeks ago after the event, and I was mesmerized by the man's music. All the words were just floating around in space. I saw all the words. I said, well, I could learn those words. But man, you know what I'd like to get from that guy? I'd like to get his music. I want to sing his song. I want to get that tune. I want to replicate his tune. His music is what people are attracted to. Colette's music is what people are attracted to. My music is what has attracted people. When I don't know anything about a company and I do a presentation that first time, word-wise, it's terrible. Word-wise, it's terrible. I've watched myself back and I'm like, oh my God, Mike, you had no clue as to what the hell you were talking about. Like, why did these people even listen to you? And then I just remember what my mentor said to me. He goes, Michael, it's all about the music, not the words. It's all about your music. So I want you to know, and if you have to practice this, do this. I practice all the time. I'll watch this Zoom back as far as when Brian Howard records all these Zooms, just so you know, I watch myself back like a professional athlete because I was trained to watch the video. Watch the video. Did I do the pattern right? Did I catch the ball right? Were my hands in the right position? Did I tackle? Was I in the right stance? When it came to sports, I watched myself on video as a punter. Was my drop flat? Did I get it on the table? Were my steps too big? Did I point my toe? Did I lock my foot? Did I follow through? What was the result? When I got into business, I already knew that recording video was the secret. I watched myself back. Sometimes it's painful to watch yourself back, isn't it? And still to this day, I hate watching myself on video. If I had to experience this from your perspective, I would never get on the screen. Luckily, I don't see what you see right now. All I see is all of you on the screen, but I'm not looking at myself, not listening to myself. But when I watch it back, you know what I'm listening for? Did I bring it? And nothing cosmetic about me, by the way. Nothing fake or phony or artificial about this person you're meeting today. This is how I am. Whether it's about a Division III football championship game or a championship that the Z team's going to win with Transact Card or a championship that I've won with a past program or whatever the case, my son's championship, no matter what it is, when I love with everything I have. And your music comes from here, right from your heart. So do you love this company? Do you love the vision of the company? Do you love the product? And if that's the case, turn on your music and go for it and give it everything you've got. Leave everything on the field. Every single day, leave it on the field is my advice to you. Get to the end of every day and be exhausted mentally, sometimes emotionally, not very much physically, unless you're doing your work from a treadmill, which I actually would expect some of us would do some of the work from the treadmill or for the exercise bike or walking, but leave it on the field. So with that, Colette, that was 9:45 here. I know we want to do an hour, but that's really all I have for today. I'm going to cut that now. Love you.
Yeah, fantastic. It's fantastic. I think 45 minutes is actually probably perfect. And I think that's, what we have come to realize. 45 minutes is perfect. So thank you for all of that. And I love the music. It's so critical to share from the heart and share your music. And like Michael said, you don't want to say too much though. Share your music, but don't share too much. And then it's on the presentations and stuff that you will do. That's where your music is going to shine and show through. So thank you so much for that. I really love and appreciate you, Michael, as does the team. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you on Wednesday night. Take care.
See y'all.
Bye, everyone.
See you, Tommy. Bye, Patricia. See you, Suzanne.
Yeah.
Bye, Yanni.
Let's talk soon,
Bye,
Suzanne.
Isabel. Got it.
Christy,
Seth,
let's
see
talk
you.
soon. God bless you.
Have a
Bye.
great day.
Thanks,
everyone.
Colette.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Colette. Thank you, Suzanne.
Hey, everybody, have a great week. Let's do it.
Let's
do
rock
it.
and roll. Let's go.
Do it.